I know her group will be introduced shortly, but also with us is Senator Marianne Thibodeau. Welcome back to your chamber. We fixed it up for you. I hope you like it. The Senate will come to order. Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President, colleagues, staff, and guests on the floor and in the gallery. Please join me. Stand and pledge the national Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Majors, please call the roll.
Senators Aguilar, Balmer,
Excused.
Baumgardner, Carroll, Cook, Crowder, Donovan, Garcia, Grantham, Guzman, Heath, Hill, Hodge, Holbert, John, Johnston, Jones, Kafalis, Kerr, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Martinez-Jimenez, Merrifield, Neville, Newell, Roberts, Scheffel, Scott,
Excused.
Sonnenberg, Stedman, Todd, Ulibarri, Woods. Mr. President.
Here. 32 present, 0 absent, 3 excused. We have a quorum. Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the reading of the Journal of January 30th be dispensed with and the Journal be approved as corrected by the Secretary.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Motion is adopted. The Journal is adopted. Committee reports.
January 30th, 2015, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends the following: Senate Bill 71 be amended as follows, and that's so amended before the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. January 30th, 2015, Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends the following: Senate Bill 11 be amended as follows, and that's so amended before the Committee on Appropriations with a favorable recommendation. January 29, 2015, Committee on Education, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends the following: Senate Bill 108 be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation, with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. January 29, 2015, Committee on Education, after consideration of the Mayor's Committee, recommends the following: Senate Bill 117 be amended as follows, and that's so amended before the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
Message from the House.
January 30th, 2015, Mr. President, the House has adopted and transmits herewith House Joint Resolutions 1008, 1009, 1010, and 1011. The House has adopted and transmits herewith House Joint Resolution 1007 as amended.
Introduction of bills.
Senate Bill 143 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Agriculture.
Senate Bill 143, Appropriations.
Senate Bill 144 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Corrections.
Senate Bill 144, Appropriations.
Senate Bill 145 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Education.
Senate Bill 145, Appropriations.
Senate Bill 146 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the offices of the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and State Planning and Budgeting.
Senate Bill 146, Appropriations.
Senate Bill 147 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing.
Senate Bill 147, Appropriations.
Senate Bill 148 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Higher Education.
Senate Bill 148, Appropriations.
Senate Bill 149 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Human Services.
Senate Bill 149, Appropriations.
Senate Bill 150 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Judicial Department.
Senate Bill 150, Appropriations.
Senate Bill 151 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Labor and Employment.
Senate Bill 151 appropriations.
Senate Bill 152 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Law.
Bill 152 appropriations.
Senate Bill 153 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Legislature.
Senate Bill 153 appropriations.
Senate Bill 154 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Local Affairs.
Senate Bill 154 appropriations.
Senate Bill 155 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs.
Senate Bill 155 appropriations.
Senate Bill 156 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Natural Resources.
Senate Bill 156 appropriations.
Senate Bill 157 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Personnel.
Senate Bill 157 appropriations.
Senate Bill 158 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Public Health and Environment.
Senate Bill 158 appropriations.
Senate Bill 159 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Public Safety.
Senate Bill 159 appropriations.
Senate Bill 160 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Regulatory Agencies.
Senate Bill 160 appropriations.
Senate Bill 161 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Revenue.
Senate Bill 161 appropriations.
Senate Bill 162 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of State.
Senate Bill 162 appropriations.
Senate Bill 163 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Transportation.
Senate Bill 163 appropriations.
Senate Bill 164 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of the Treasury.
Senate Bill 164 appropriations.
Senate Bill 165 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning funding for capital construction and making supplemental appropriations in connection therewith.
Senate Bill 165 appropriations.
Senate Bill 166 by Senator Stedman and Representative Hamner concerning adjustments in the amount of total program funding for the public schools for the 2014-15 budget year and in connection therewith reducing an appropriation.
Senate Bill 166 appropriations.
Senate Bill 167 by Senator Stedman and Representative Rankin concerning a modification of the monies available to certain departments for the 2014-15 fiscal year for programs that the General Assembly funded in 2014 from state monies collected in connection with the legal marijuana industry.
Senate Bill 167 appropriations.
Senate Bill 168 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a transfer from the Intellectual and Developmental Disability Services Cash Fund to the General Fund for the 2014-15 state fiscal year.
Senate Bill 168 appropriations.
Senate Bill 169 by Senator Lambert and Representative Hamner concerning a transfer from the Department of Public Safety's account in the State Employee Reserve Fund to the General Fund for the 2014-15 state fiscal year.
Senate Bill 169 appropriations.
Senate Bill 170 by Senator Grantham and Representative Young concerning a transfer from the General Fund to the Capital Construction Fund for the 2014-15 state fiscal year.
Senate Bill 170 appropriations. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that the Senate proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege.
The motion is to proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. We will proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege. Senator Kafalis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I respectfully ask for a moment of personal privilege to present this tribute to the Colorado Youth Corps.
Granted.
Thank you, sir. The Senate of the Colorado Legislature convened in the first regular session of the 70th General Assembly hereby extends heartiest congratulations and commendation to the Colorado Youth Corps. The Colorado Youth Corps Association promotes youth development through conservation and supports the state's 10 accredited youth conservation corps. Today, we honor the 2014 Corps Members of the Year from around the state. These young people have made important contributions to Colorado by enhancing, preserving, and protecting our state's natural resources, benefiting Coloradan visitors and wildlife alike. The young people being honored here today as Corps Members of the Year represent the best future for Colorado. In many cases, these young people overcame personal barriers, and capitalized on the support from their youth corps to serve our state, further their education, and look toward bright futures. On request of Senator John Kafalas, given this day of February, the second day of February 2015, State Capitol, Denver, Colorado, signed by Senate President Bill Cadman. Members, would you join me in honoring these fine young people? Thank you, colleagues, and congratulations. You're the best. Thank you, sir.
We'll take 2 minutes so we can greet our guests as they leave. Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Mr. Majors, would you please read the title of all the bills on the third reading of bills, consent calendar?
Senate Bill 13 by Senator Balmer and Representatives Court and Quorum concerning extending the deadline for peace officers to complete dog encounter training to June 30th, 2015. Senate Bill 43 by Senator Heath and Representative Pavone concerning clarifying changes to the Prosecution Fellowship Program. Senate Bill 57 by Senator Balmer and Representative Williams concerning the reporting requirements of the Colorado Clean Claims Task Force.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the adoption of all the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 13, Senate Bill 43, and Senate Bill 57.
The motion is for the adoption of Senate Bill 13, 43, 57 on third reading of bills consent calendar. Is there further discussion on any of the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar? Seeing none, are there any no votes on any of the third reading of bills consent calendar? With 32 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, and 3 excused, Senate Bill 13 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Aguilar, Senator Kerr, Senator Woods, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Guzman, Senator Newell, Senator Johnston, Senator Todd, with 32 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 43 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Roberts, Senator Aguilar, Senator Johnston, with 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 57 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Aguilar, Senator Kafalas, Third reading of bills. Mr. Mazurs, would you please read the title of Senate Bill 5?
Senate Bill 5 by Senator Cook and Representative Foote concerning medical testing in certain first-degree assault cases.
Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move adoption of Senate Bill 5 on third reading and final passage and ask for the use of the present roll call.
Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 5? Seeing none, are there any no votes on Senate Bill 5? With 32 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 5 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Kafalis, Senator Guzman, Senator Heath, Senator Donovan, Senator Woods, Senator Neville, Senator Crowder, Senator Lambert, Mr. Majority Leader, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Jones, Senator Kerr, Senator Stedman, Senator Holbert, Senator Sonnenberg, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Grantham, Senator Johnston, Senator Todd, Senator Merrifield, Senator Newell, Senator Roberts. Please add the President. Mr. Mazurs, would you please read the title of Senate Bill 4?
Senate Bill 4 by Senator John and Representative Primavera concerning trained volunteer court-appointed special advocates for youth brought before a court in a truancy proceeding.
Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate lay over Senate Bill 4 to Tuesday, February 3rd.
You have heard the motion to lay over Senate Bill 4. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. Senate Bill 4 will lay over. Mr. Mazurs, would you please read the title of Senate Bill 126?
Senate Bill 126 by Senators Cook and Johnston and Representative Foote concerning medical tests for victims of crimes of assault.
Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move adoption of Senate Bill 126 on third reading and final passage and ask for the use of the present roll call.
Senator Johnson.
I agree, Mr. President.
Is there further discussion on Senate Bill 126? Seeing none, are there any no votes on Senate Bill 126? With 32 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 3 excused, Senate Bill 126 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Mr. Majority Leader, Senator Woods, Senator Lundberg, Senator Roberts, Senator Heath, Senator Donovan, Senator Guzman, Senator Stedman, Senator Newell, Senator Kerr, Senator Lambert, Senator Grantham, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Jones, Senator Merrifield, Senator Kafalis, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Todd, Senator Marble. Please add the President. General Order, second reading of bills, consent calendar. Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into a committee of the whole for consideration of General Order's second reading of bills consent calendar.
The motion is to resolve the Senate into the committee of the whole for General Order's second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The Senate will resolve itself into the committee of the whole. Senator Hill has the chair. Committee will come back to order. Okay. And then you do it again.
All right. That's good.
You got it, man?
The committee will come to order. The coat rule is relaxed. Mr. Majors, will you please read the titles to all bills on general order, second reading of bills, consent calendar?
Senate Bill 25 by Senator Jones and Representative Melton concerning the transfer of an individual's retirement funds to the statewide defined benefit plan administered by the Fire and Police Pension Association. Senate Bill 26 by Senator Balmer and Representative Janal concerning the contribution rate for participants beginning membership in the Fire and Police Pension Association statewide defined benefit plan. Senate Bill 27 by Senator Ulibarri and Representative Court concerning additional authority over the Board of the Directors of the Fire and Police Pension Association to assess administrative charges. Senate Bill 28 by Senator Balmer and Representative Janal concerning requirements for employee participation in a plan administered by the Fire and Police Pension Association.
Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the adoption of all of the bills on the general order's second reading of bills consent calendar, which includes Senate Bill 25, Senate Bill 26, Senate Bill 27, and Senate Bill 28, and ask for an aye vote.
Is there any discussion? The motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills on the general order, second reading of bills consent calendar. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? The ayes have it, and all the bills on the consent calendar are adopted. Majority Leader Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
The motion is for the body to rise and report. All those in favor say aye. Aye. No? Opposed? The ayes have it, and the motion is adopted. The committee will rise and report.
That's mine. The Senate will come back to order. Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. The committee has had a number of bills under consideration. Mr. Majors, will you please read the report?
February 2nd, 2015, Mr. President, your committee of the whole basically reports that under consideration of the following tax bills being second reading thereof makes the following recommendation thereon. Senate Bill 25, Senate Bill 26, Senate Bill 27, Senate Bill 28 passed on second reading in order and grows placed on the counter for third reading and final passage.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the adoption of the report.
The motion before us is the adoption of the committee of the whole report. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, are there any no votes? With 32 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 3 excused, the committee of the whole report is adopted. Senate Bill 1525, Senate Bill 1526, Senate Bill 1527, Senate Bill 1528 passed on second reading and ordered engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Please add Senator Scott to the roll. General order, second reading of bills. Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate resolve itself into the committee of the whole for the consideration of the general order's second reading of bills.
You have heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The Senate will resolve itself into the committee of the whole for general orders, second reading of bills. Senator Hill will take the chair.
All right. The committee will come to order, and the coat rule is relaxed. Mr. Majors, will you please read the title to Senate Bill 61?
Senate Bill 61 by Senator Holbert concerning the non-applicability of disclosure requirements under Colorado law governing campaign finance in the case of certain issue committees that raise relatively small amounts of money.
Senator Scheffel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move Senate Bill 61 lay over to February 3rd.
You have heard the motion. The motion is to lay over Senate Bill 61 until February 3rd. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 61 will lay over until February 3rd. Mr. Majors, will you please read the title to Senate Bill 30?
Senate Bill 30 by Senator Carroll concerning removing culpability for prostitution for a victim of human trafficking.
Senator Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 30 in the Judiciary Committee report.
Senator Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On the committee report, we did a couple things with the bill. We defined the standard of what was needed to prove the affirmative defense of human trafficking as preponderance of the evidence. We did a split effective date on the sealing process to allow municipalities till January 1st, 2006. We cross-referenced the present definition in statute of human trafficking, clarified that sealing is for adults and expungement is for juveniles, and we added a confidentiality provision in here to protect the victims of human trafficking who are asserting that defense. And we also added a post-enactment review to the Trafficking Committee, and that is the Judiciary Committee report.
Is there any further discussion to the committee report? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of the Judiciary Committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it, and the report is adopted. To the bill, Senator Carroll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, Senate Bill 30 is a bill that is correcting the criminalization of human trafficking victims. Many times we don't find victims of human trafficking until they get caught up in what might appear to be an ordinary prostitution charge. Rather than treating victims of human trafficking like criminals, what this bill contemplates is the ability for them to raise an affirmative defense that they are victims of human trafficking and in fact not criminals at all. Also, given the difficulty of victims to come forward in these situations and how hard it is to move forward, this clarifies a process for adults who have been victims of human trafficking to seal their record and juveniles to expunge, as a criminal record makes it harder for victims of human trafficking to get housing and employment. That is the purpose of the bill. So the two things it does is the affirmative defense to the charge of prostitution for victims of human trafficking and allows sealing for adults and expungement for minors. And ask for an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 30. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and Senate Bill 30 passes. Mr. Majors, will you please read the title of Senate Bill 49?
Senate Bill 49 by Senator Martinez, Humanic, and Representative Kaiser, concerning the vesting of title to real estate and a grantee that is an entity that has not yet been formed once the entity has been formed.
Senator Martinez Humanic.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move Senate Bill 49. This passed unanimously in committee, and there is no committee report.
Senator Humanic, Martinez Humanic, will you move the bill, please?
I'm sorry.
I didn't hear. Sorry.
I move Senate Bill 49.
To the bill, Senator Martinez Humanic.
What this does is current law specifies that when there is a guarantee of deed, that it could only be done by a corporation, and this expands it to all entities. So that title vests once the entity is formed. Are there any questions by my colleagues?
Is there any discussion? The motion before the body, colleagues, is adoption of Senate Bill 49. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed? No. The noes have it. Senate Bill 49 is lost. A majority leader shuffle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I move the committee rise and report.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? The committee shall rise and report.
February 4th. I knew this was coming.
Owen? Ready?
There it is.
The Senate will come back to order. Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. We had a number of bills under consideration, some very important bills that you might hear some amendments to as well, and I move for the adoption of the report.
Mr. Majors, would you please read the title? Would you please read the report? Excuse me.
February 2nd, 2015, Mr. President, your committee of the whole basic report is under consideration of the following attached bills being second reading thereof makes following recommendations thereon. Senate Bill 30 is amended, passed on second reading in order and gross place of the counter for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 61 laid over until February 3rd, 2015, retaining its place on the counter. Senate Bill 49 lost on second reading.
Senator Hill's motion is for the adoption of the committee of the whole report. There is an amendment. Mr. Majors.
Committee of the Whole Amendment 1 to Senate Bill 49. Senator Martinez-Humanic moved to amend the report of the Committee of the Whole so that Senate Bill 49 as amended did pass.
Senator Martinez-Humanic.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would like to move the amendment to the report of the Committee of the Whole that shows Senate Bill 1549 as amended did pass.
Senator Martinez-Humanic, the chair cannot help you here, but the president can. Would you like to restate your motion? Senator Martinez-Humanic.
I apologize. Mr. President, I would like to ask that the amendment to the report of the Committee of the Whole show that Senate Bill 1549 as amended did pass.
The motion, I think there was one, was to show that Senate Bill 49 passed. Wait a minute. Mine says as amended, and we need to correct it. Have her withdraw this amendment then? Let her know. We need to correct the amendment.
Withdraw the amendment.
We need to amend the amendment.
Just withdraw it.
49.
Hang on, I know. You ready?
Just withdraw it.
Senator Martinez-Humanic.
Yes, Mr. President. I would like to withdraw the motion.
That motion is withdrawn. Senator Martinez-Humanic.
Yes, Mr. President, I am moving amendment to report to the Committee of the Whole to show that Senate Bill 1549 as amended did pass.
The motion is I move. Senator Martinez-Humanic.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move amendment to report of the Committee of the Whole show that Senate Bill 1549 as amended did pass, and I ask for an aye vote.
I think the Constitution has been complied with because the amendment has been read, and it doesn't necessarily have to be done by the reader. It's just something we normally do. You have heard several motions, but we're going to talk about the most recent one. All those in favor, excuse me, are there any no votes? How about further discussion? Reconsideration. This is your shot. With 33 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 2 excused, Committee of the Whole Amendment number 2 is adopted. Now the motion is for the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report as amended. Is there further discussion? Are there any no votes? With 33 ayes, 0 no, 0 absent, 2 excused, the Committee of the Whole report as amended is adopted. Senate Bill 1530 is amended. Senate Bill 1549 passed on second reading in order engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bill 1561 laid over until February 3rd and retaining its place on the calendar. Consideration of governor's appointments. Mr. Majors, would you please read the appointments of Water Resources and Power Development Authority?
Members of the Colorado Water Resources and Power Development Authority for a term expiring October 1st, 2015, Gregory J. Higgle of Alamosa, Colorado, to serve as a representative of the Rio Grande Drainage Basin, reappointed. For terms expiring October 1st, 2018, Bruce R. Smith of Mesa, Colorado, to serve as a representative from the main Colorado Drainage Basin and as a representative with experience in public health issues related to drinking water or water quality matters, appointed. Robert Edward Wolf of Durango, Colorado, to serve as a representative from the San Miguel Dolores San Juan Drainage Basin and as a representative with experience in the engineering aspects of water projects, appointed.
Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for the appointment of Gregory Higgle and Heigl. I apologize, Gregory Heigl and Bruce Smith and Robert Wolf to serve as members of the Colorado Water Resources and Power Development Authority.
Is there further discussion? Are there any no votes? With 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Gregory Heigl, Bruce Smith, Robert Wolf are appointed to the Water Resources and Power Development Authority. Mr. Majors, would you please read the appointments for Fire and Police Pension Association Board of Directors?
Members of the Fire and Police Pension Association Board of Directors for a term expiring September 1st, 2017, Jack Edward Blumenthal of Denver, Colorado, a person from the state's financial or business community experience in personnel and corporate administration, reappointed. For a term expiring September 1st, 2018, David Leroy Baumberger of Castle Rock, Colorado, who has experience in insurance disability claims, reappointed.
Senator Scott.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the appointment of Jack Blumenthal and David Baumberger to the Fire and Police Pension Association Board of Directors.
Is there further discussion on this motion? Are there any no votes? With 33 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 2 excused, Jack Blumenthal and David Baumberger are appointed to the Fire and Police Pension Association Board of Directors. Message from the House.
February 2nd, 2015, Mr. President, the House has passed on third reading and transmitted the Advisory Statutes, House Bills 1060 and 1045. The House has passed on third reading and transmitted the Advisory Statutes, House Bill 1031 as amended.
Announcements. No announcements? This is the kind of Groundhog Day we can believe in. Well, this is the time. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. With no announcements, I move that the Senate adjourn to 9 a.m. Tuesday. Withdraw that motion, Mr. President.
Announcements. Senator Crowder.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to, we have is a group of ladies over here from El Paso County, and they are Republican Party GOP women, and I would like to acknowledge them, and I would ask everybody to join me in welcoming to the Senate floor today.
Please welcome the Sunrise Republican women.
Thank you.
Announcements. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate adjourn to 9 a.m. Tuesday, February 3rd.
Further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, no. The Senate will stand adjourned until 9 a.m. Tuesday, February 3rd.